1639, good luck. How we've played before. Could have been any time control. If you click your score there, it'll bring the game up what you've done. 4,000 games for opponent, and we've done just over 1,200. Okay, going berserk. Okay, what do we want to do? Let's play the Sicilian for this one. Okay, let's develop our knight. Okay, let's develop our other knight. Okay, we're just going to launch our pawn forward. You can push on, you can take, chooses to push on, so we'll drop the knight back and attack the pawn. He'll probably play f4. We can develop the bishop or the queen. Does indeed. Now we could actually throw a nice nuisance check in. I think that's probably sensible, isn't it? Let's throw a check in and just drop back just to break the pawn structure. I could potentially go forward, but we might get our queen into a little bit of bother. Say bishop back and we go here. You might be able to repeat. I don't particularly want to do that, so we'll just drop back. Then maybe get the bishop up, pin the knight. Obviously it's very easy to block. You're probably going to go queen side now, probably. Yeah, bishop indeed comes up, so I think I want to develop my bishop. But if you do this, that's a little bit inconvenient, isn't it? Actually, what about rook across or queen up? Queen up, knight across might be a move. Rook across, we just create that initial issue here, and if knight across, we can then challenge it. I'm going to do that, I think. I'm not going to go queenside myself, so I'm just going to play rook across and hit that pawn. If knight down to guard, we can play knight across or knight forward maybe. But knight forward to hit the bishop could be a good move. Immediately, maybe I should have done that the move before. I think white can still actually castle this side. So I think they find a castle there. But I'm going to go forward and attack that knight now. Maybe I was better going forward the move before and trade the knight for the bishop. Might have been better doing that. We'll have a look at that with the post-game review, of course. But I only play the Sicilian for that bit of occasional variety. You won't see it on a big portion of my games. Yeah, played bishop down to guard, so I think queen up looks a sensible move here, but you're probably just going to develop. But queen up, say queen here to guard, we can maybe just play forward up. If you go here, we've got a chance to come here. Bishop down would still be a move, I guess, but then we can come in. The queen across just looks like a sensible move, doesn't it? Our queen's not trapped. We can always drop back if we have to. But we're threatening a check. And if you go here as opposed to here... Oh, it's come right the way up. I didn't expect that. But I was going to say we had pawn up, but I'm looking at just bishop up now then. But bishop up, you can castle, we can take. And if you take and then castle, we still hit the pawn. I could go here as well to actually create the pin, couldn't I? Does it matter? I'm not sure it does. I'm going to go this way. If you castle now, we just take the bishop. Get the cursor off the board so there's no accidental slips. Whoa, now that wasn't a move I was expecting. Pushing forward, wow. I was not expecting that. I think we're fine to take. And I think we're fine to take and trade everything here. Then maybe queen and I'll just castle. But we can't allow the pawn to stay there. We have to take. So the question is, can I just trade and come crashing in here? What's wrong with that? I'm still fine to castle, aren't I? But we might as well get rid of the bishop and throw the check in. And then say, where is your king going to end up? It's got to be good for us here. Let's check. I assume you go this way, but I think we just castle and put our king safe. Goes that way, so can we take and grab a pawn and attack the rook then? There's no immediate danger to us. There's no check without giving up your queen. So here, we're threatening to take with a check. It's got to be right to take, right? Is there an actual silly move here where you can sack? But say we check and you were to step up, say here, can we play queen back? I guess, because our queen would be under attack then. So here, that's the only danger, is if this pawn push would be an actual move. But we don't have to take the rook, but I'm going to risk it. That might be a move. But worst case, I can play the queen back, or I think I can take the rook and play queen back. And if you were to take, I think we can take back. But that will be the move I think my opponent's looking at. And I can always just bail out. Oh, they've chosen to play rook across. Okay, so I can check here and drive the king maybe further out. But I think it's got to be right to castle, right? Just castle. Think of your king's safety first before you try and overly press. And then I can throw a check in here. Flush the king out. Rook across. Just got to keep my king safe. Yeah, I've gone for that pawn push, but I don't think that's good. I can check here, and take, I think. Check here. Or here I can just check and get the queen off. Or we can even just take, allow this and run. Everything's fine now, isn't it? Everything's good. I think it's good to take now. The king's too open. There, we'll just go in the corner, threaten rook across, and that should be winning. It should be. Doesn't mean it is, but it should be. Rook across, I can just check and then maybe come over something like this. Choose to take, but that's going to be game over. Now the king can't escape. The king's got nowhere to run to. See, it should be game over. It doesn't mean you can't blunder them, of course. I push a pawn at the right moment, but I can check, and I think that's going to be clean. Check and check. Okay, so where's the actual finish? I mean, you've got to go here. Kind of only move. I'm going to push the pawn just so I don't blunder the one move back rank mate, but as long as we find a way to win, everything's good. Okay. Let's just shuffle across here and then maybe rook down. I think you find I should take the pawn. Rook down threatens to come across. A rook here. So rook here, if you check, it doesn't do a lot because I've given my king a square. The only risk would be if you manage to push this pawn down the board. If you manage to push the pawn down the board and keep it protected, we might get into trouble. But that's a checkmate threat, so got to deal with that. Not easy. Might have been better trading there and then trying to push, so might have been. So is there a mate here now? Here, here, here. There's got to be a checkmate somewhere, isn't there? So here, down, and here looks to be checkmate. Just trying to make sure that I'm not leaving my king open to some sort of repetition. That's a nice checkmate there. Okay, let's just see what it was in engine speak. Pause so we don't accidentally start another game. So 35 moves there, the move times for both players. Opponent used berserk mode for this one. We have the Sicilian defense 4 knights variation, so we want to try and learn, see if there's anything to learn from the opening, because it's just some occasional variety for me, not something I play routinely, but it looks like I played it pretty decently. 96 and 88 on the accuracy, so have we got anything to learn? There's not a lot being flagged in these opening moves, so we both played it well. Yeah, so queen check was good. So it's good, breaks up the pawn structure. And then rook across was good, just common sense development moves. And then queen b6 was still good. Yeah, queen f3 should have played a4 apparently. Apparently a4 was a good move there, allowing the check. Why that is, I'm not sure. A4 is all it gives there, should have done that. So bishop to d4, I should have actually played the bishop back to e7. I should have gone a bit more cautiously here. Should have been a bit more cautious there. Instead of playing bishop in, he should have just traded. So f5 was a blunder. Should just trade. It just gives them one move there. But takes, and then what do? Yeah, if you castle, which can take here. Maybe it's just, must be just fine. It's only like level, isn't it? 0.5 on the eval. But this was a blunder. But here we shouldn't have taken. We should have just played pawn takes pawn in this position. And then bishop takes and queen takes d4. So we kind of ended up doing that just in a slightly different move order. Queen check was good. Taking the pawn was good. Yeah, I wondered if he might have been able to push the pawn here, but it doesn't look like it. Rook to c1 was the good move. So we just castled. So we threw the check in. Yeah, drop back with the queen. I'd probably just trade there, grab the pawn, but it would open the rook, wouldn't it? So drop back the queen. We should have dropped our queen back. Then you take, we take back. Activate your rook, we activate our rook. Queen back to f8. I don't think I'd have played that. So it's still not easy to try and find a way to break through, but that king's a lot more of a target than our king. Okay. But then here the king is just too wide open now, so you have to give up your queen. Then it's just a case of not blundering. I should have actually gone forward with the rook here rather than the queen. So I've missed a forced checkmate in 3, but so what was it? So we should have played rook e2. The king goes to h3. Then we play h5 to give the queen an anchor to come across, and you can't stop it. So that's what we should have done. We missed that. Make sure I don't blunder the back rank. Okay, the eval's technically coming back a bit. Yeah, you should have traded there, and then I guess you can try and push here and hope you don't blunder a triangulation. And if I've got to then get the queen behind the pawn and then eventually get my king behind and free the queen up. But we're still +5 better, so completely winning. But now it's just a forced checkmate, so we managed to end well. But dangerous opponent, so good effort, well done.